guys, and welcome back to Squid's Art Adventure. Today I'm going to be talking about the creative process, or my creative process. So someone asked me to talk about how I come up with my ideas, so I'm going to do this in like a really quick and simple fashion. And the piece we're going to be talking about is this one, which I'm pretty sure you've seen behind me. I know this isn't a great shot, but yeah. This is the piece you always see behind me. It's based on a cubist idea. So how I got there is I got a commission for a friend, and he asked me to do a cubist painting of a landscape. I've never done cubism before. So first step in the creative process, research. So what I did was I went online and I looked at a bunch of like videos and a bunch of like cubist paintings. I listened to a lot of art historians talk about Picasso and how Picasso would come up with his work. So I found out the main ideas, which is it's basically, it could be any objects. It could be a landscape, it could be a still life, it could be a portrait, it could be a full figure. As long as you're drawing that subject from multiple points in the same piece. So meaning if you're drawing my face, like here, you would draw it from here, straight on, 3/4 on this side, 3/4 on that side, which is exactly what I did for the portrait. So from there, I drew 3 portraits. Super simple. I drew the 3 portraits and that was it. So the next step was to come up with 3 unique grids. So, and that was this. So there's 3 sketches here. This was the first one, where I just drew a random grid and then I plopped each piece of the portraits I did in each section. But it looked too random. I wasn't like a huge fan of it. So then we have this one. So what I did was I color coded each portrait to red, blue, or yellow. And then I outlined the squares or the pieces that I wanted. And I knew which piece of the portrait I was putting in there. So I tried to make that one more deliberate and it came out okay. It wasn't like the biggest deal. But the third one, this is where I felt more confident. I made it more deliberate. I tried to make it seem more random, but deliberately more random, so it would be more interesting. Then the third step, which is not hard, was to come up with a color palette. So I knew I wanted it to be a limited palette with an extra color, so it was an extended palette. And my wife is leaving for therapy. So I knew the colors that I wanted to use were cadmium red, cadmium yellow, but I didn't know what the third color would be. So most extended palettes have blue in it, whether it be Prussian blue or ultramarine blue. So I decided that I didn't want to use blue, and my favorite color is purple. So I decided to use deoxazine purple, and then I came up with these color swatches, which basically gives me my entire palette, which all the colors are a mixture of either cadmium red, cadmium yellow, deoxazine purple, black and white. Yeah, so that's it. That was literally all I did to come up with my piece. My creative process is not hard, and anybody could do it, because once you have the idea of your piece, all you need to do is do a little bit of research, do some sketches, take those sketches a little bit further, do 2 or 3. If you want to do more, you can, 4 or 5. And then you develop, like, if you want to use a specific color palette, you develop a color palette for yourself, or you could use like just a limited palette, which is literally yellow ochre, Venetian red, black and white. That'll get you all the flesh tones if you want to do a portrait. Thank you for watching, and I hope it helped, and I hope that I was able to get my point across on what my creative process is. Yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me what your creative process is, what kind of steps you take. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And remember guys, keep inking.